Have you ever wondered what would happen if Bitcoin finally got the tools to compete with Ethereum, Solana, and all the other smart contract giants? Well, that's exactly what's starting to happen right now. And one project is leading the way. It's called Torram, and trust me, this name will be everywhere in the next bull run. So what is Torram and why is it so different? Let's break it down. At its core, Torram is the world's first decentralized oracle and indexer network built directly on Bitcoin layer 1. If that sentence didn't make your brain light up, let me translate. Torram is giving Bitcoin the same kind of power that Chainlink gave Ethereum. Think about that for a second. Chainlink became the backbone of DeFi by feeding external data into blockchains, things like price feeds, weather data, and sports scores. Without Chainlink, DeFi would not even exist in its current form. Now imagine a project that does all of that, but directly on Bitcoin. This is groundbreaking because Bitcoin has always been viewed as slow, basic, and limited compared to other blockchains. People say it's only good for storing value, but Torram is rewriting that narrative. It's creating a Bitcoin-native oracle system that can make smart contracts and decentralized apps actually flourish on Bitcoin itself. That's a $1 trillion opportunity sitting right there. And here's the crazy part. This isn't just another random altcoin. Torram is backed by serious venture capital money. Top-tier crypto funds and institutional investors are already betting big on it. While the average retail investor hasn't even heard the name yet, insiders are quietly accumulating and preparing for something huge. Let's talk about timing. Torram is still in its testnet phase, with the mainnet launch coming soon. That means it's early, really early. If you look at projects like Chainlink or the Graph, they exploded in value after going live, because suddenly everyone realized how essential their infrastructure was. Torram is setting up to be the same kind of story, but this time tied directly to Bitcoin, the king of crypto. And here's the viral part. Bitcoin maximalists can't ignore it. For years they've dismissed oracles as an Ethereum thing, but now they're facing a reality where Torram is unlocking new use cases that could finally make Bitcoin more than just digital gold. Imagine decentralized finance apps running directly on Bitcoin. Imagine gaming and NFTs on Bitcoin that actually work because they have real-world data feeds. But hold on, there's more to this than just technology. Torram's economic model is also designed to explode in value. Every oracle service, every indexing request, every app built on Bitcoin that uses Torram's data, it all requires the token. That means real utility, not just hype. If Bitcoin DeFi grows, Torram grows with it. And considering how Bitcoin adoption is accelerating worldwide, you can already guess where this is heading. Now let's dig even deeper into what makes Torram so different from every other so-called next big crypto. Here's the truth. Most new tokens are just hype. They promise revolutionary technology, but underneath, they're just copy-pasted code from Ethereum, Solana, or Binance Smart Chain. Torram is different because it's not trying to compete with Bitcoin. It's building on top of it. That changes everything. Bitcoin is the most secure blockchain in the world. It has the highest market cap, the strongest network effect, and the most decentralized base layer ever created. The problem has always been that Bitcoin is hard to build on. Developers complain it's too limited. Institutions complain it's too slow. Torram's oracle and indexer network solves that by creating a trustless bridge between Bitcoin and the real world. Here's an example. Imagine you want to build a Bitcoin-based lending protocol where people deposit Bitcoin and borrow stablecoins against it. To make that work, the smart contract needs real-time Bitcoin price data. Without an oracle, it's impossible. With Torram, suddenly it works. But let's talk strategy, because timing is everything in crypto. Torram's testnet is already running and it's proving the tech works. The mainnet launch is expected soon, which means the clock is ticking. If you look at how Chainlink exploded after its first real integrations, you'll see a pattern forming. Early adopters who spotted the infrastructure play made life-changing gains. We could be looking at the exact same setup here, but this time tied directly to the most valuable blockchain on the planet. Another key point, Torram isn't just an oracle, it's also an indexer. That means it doesn't just provide data, it organizes and structures it for developers. If you've ever heard of the Graph, you know how important indexing is for building apps. The Graph made Ethereum usable for developers. Torram is about to do the same thing for Bitcoin. So what's the end game? Torram wants to become the backbone of the Bitcoin app layer. Every DeFi app, every NFT marketplace, every gaming project, every metaverse play that touches Bitcoin could end up relying on Torram for data and indexing. That's a massive amount of potential demand, and it's all tied to the token economy. But here's the thing most people are missing. Torram is still a hidden gem. YouTube is barely talking about it. Twitter has some chatter. Reddit has a few deep dive threads. But mainstream coverage? Almost zero. That means the opportunity is wide open for early movers. And let's be honest, in crypto, being early is everything. By the time influencers with 1 million subscribers are talking about Torram, the easy gains will already be gone. The real money is made before the hype wave hits. Right now, Torram is still in stealth mode. But when the mainnet goes live and partnerships start dropping, expect the narrative to explode. So what happens next for Torram? Let's connect the dots and look at the roadmap. Because this is where things get really exciting. Next, the mainnet launch. This is the big one. Once Torram goes live on Bitcoin Layer 1, we're going to see integrations start rolling in. Oracles are sticky infrastructure. Once a project plugs into them, they rarely switch. Then comes the partnership wave. Think about Chainlink's history. Once they partnered with Aave, Synthetics and other DeFi leaders, it was game over. Torram has the chance to do the same in the Bitcoin ecosystem. As more Bitcoin-based projects emerge, Torram becomes the go-to solution. Now let's talk tokenomics. This is the part that could send Torram's price skyrocketing. Every Oracle request, every index query, every single interaction with the network consumes tokens. That creates constant demand. And since supply is capped, demand can only push one way, up. Combine that with staking incentives and validator rewards, and you've got a token that people don't just want to trade, they want to hold and use. And here's the kicker. We're not just talking about small-scale adoption. Bitcoin is the most recognized name in crypto. When people hear about new tech being built directly on Bitcoin, they pay attention. That gives Torram a marketing advantage that no Ethereum-based Oracle can touch. It's not just another altcoin. It's a project expanding what Bitcoin can actually do. Now imagine the headlines. Bitcoin finally gets DeFi thanks to Torram. Torram brings real-world data to Bitcoin. Institutional investors back Bitcoin Oracle project. You can already see how powerful that narrative will be. And in crypto, narrative is everything. But let me give you one more reason why Torram could go viral. It's the kind of project that bridges two worlds. On one side, you have the Bitcoin maximalists who only trust Bitcoin. On the other, you have the builders who love DeFi, NFTs, and advanced apps. Torram sits right in the middle, offering a solution that satisfies both groups. That's rare, and it's exactly the kind of story that blows up online. So here's the bottom line. Torram isn't just another project, it's a potential game changer. It's solving a problem that's been holding Bitcoin back for years. It has institutional backing, real tech, and perfect timing with the rise of Bitcoin-based ecosystems. Right now, barely anyone is talking about it. But once the mainnet launches and adoption starts, the narrative could explode overnight. If you're looking for the next Chainlink, the next graph, the next piece of infrastructure that quietly becomes essential to the entire crypto space, Torram might be it. And the best part? You're hearing about it before the masses. So the question is, will you be early? Or will you wait until everyone else is already talking about it? Because in crypto, being early isn't just an advantage, it's everything.